Hi, I'm not my dad, obviously. I'm guest reviewing because he recently did a review of Your Next. Apparently, a new cult classic. Well, big old slasher thing that's all going around the interwebs now. But he wanted me to watch it and say what I thought because I like horror movies. You've seen me on here before. If you watch these videos, I like that stuff. And what I thought apparently is quite contrasting to what most people think. I didn't really like the film uh, at all. Quick plot synopsis: this guy and his girlfriend. It's about the girl, so I'll just say this girl goes with her boyfriend to a big family get together. It's a family reunion at their little cabin home off in the way. Establish that there's a lot of money involved in the family. They're a pretty rich family, but they don't like each other very much. They don't get together very often. So everything, like, everyone gets there, and middle of dinner, middle of a big family argument, as is to be expected, people start dying. Arrows fly through, kill the first guy, who you only get to hear like 2 lines of, and he could have been interesting. And that's one of my other problems with this movie. One of my main problems, actually, overall, is that none of the characters, bar the main girl, are likable. At all. At all. You have the dad, who, he doesn't get that many lines, and they're not fully solid. The mother, who is okay. The older brother, who's, I think there's supposed to be some comedy in this. I'm guessing it was supposed to be partially comedy. It doesn't, there's 1 or 2 scenes that are like, oh, that's kind of chuckle-worthy, but it doesn't hit as well. And his girlfriend, who's also supposed to be rich, and then the younger brother, who's supposed to be the outcast, and his girlfriend, who's also supposed to be rich. None of them are likable. None of them are interesting. And that's sad. When you have one of my favorite horror movies, surprisingly, is Friday the 13th Part 3. And the reason I like it so much, compared to all the other ones, is that everyone in that movie is likable. You don't want to see them die. You don't want to see any of them become victims. Even the bikers are pretty cool, except for the weird Jason rape thing. But every character is likable. And when you like a character, you're invested in. You don't want to see something bad happen to him. But in this film, there's no investment. I don't care if anything bad happens to the older brother. Why? Because he's not a good character. I don't care if anything happens to his girlfriend or wife. I don't know what she was. I don't care if anything happens to any of them but the parents, and the parents die, like, first off. And it's not really that big of a loss. So the moment they're gone, it's nothing. There's no investment. The biggest sell of this film, I could say, is, well, other than the wonderful song, Looking for the Magic, which, dancing, which, I love. It's on repeat. There's a thing that established that's on repeat earlier on, because the neighbors died at the beginning of the movie with the okay opening sequence. It's not bad. But the best part of it is that it makes it so that the song can play repeatedly. It's a wonderful song, and I'm going to listen to it after this. But the best selling point, I suppose you could say, is the protagonist, who, she says in the film she grew up on a survivalist compound, and that she, like, learned how to take care of herself, and she learned about self-defense and that. So, one of the funnest things to watch is these killers, the murderers, get horribly killed themselves. And there's a few things with traps. I think that if this movie had focused on her as the survivor, the what am I looking for? Her on the offensive, and as well as being reactive with traps and stuff, that would have been fine on its own. That would have been a fun film to watch. But with the family, because spoiler alerts, a lot of it has to do with inheritance, because some of the people there are bad guys, and I don't know if this is even a spoiler, because the moment you start the film, the moment people start dying, some people immediately red flag suspicious.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's maybe you should run outside at full speed and we'll open the door at the last second. Who's the fastest runner? It's not hard to tell who the bad guys are. But with that added in, and with the slight sprinklings of comedy every now and again, which don't work, as well as the other slasher elements where they're killing the other people, it just doesn't work as well like that. If this had been a straight, like, survival horror film, I would have liked it a lot better. But as a slasher slash comedy, I don't know, it's just too much trying to be thrown in there. And I should note that if you want to make a film creepy, one of the good things about having masked killers is that their mask should scare you. And these masks just didn't do it for me. There's this actually really good scene earlier on where the mother is lying in bed and she's crying because her daughter just died. And she's sobbing, she's lying in bed and the room's dark and the door is closed. And you see a hand come from out from under the bed. And you look up at her again and it looks down and the hand is like crawling out and the person crawls out and then you see the mask and it's is it the wolf mask? I think the wolf mask that time, right, Dad?
I think so, yeah.
The wolf mask comes out, and I look at it, and it's just... It takes the scene away for me, because I'm expecting to see something that'll... Oh, it's scary. But I just... Black suit and a wolf mask just doesn't do it for me. Like, what was that movie? The Strangers. Right? Is that the movie? Where the three people in the mask? They had really creepy, cool masks. When you, like, see one of those popping out of somewhere, that gets you, but when you see, like, simple, like, animal mask, it doesn't do it, really. It's hard to, like, carry a scary scene when what you see isn't that scary. All in all, what else do I have to say about the film? Other than the song is good, it would have worked better as a survival thing, so the traps were underused. Because there were a few traps, and they were very underused.
There was a couple decent actors in it.
There was a couple decent actors.
And directors. The first guy that dies is Ty West, the guy that directed The House of the Devil.
Oh, was it? Okay. Yeah. See, that's cool. And he died putting on Looking for the Magic, so I'm glad about that.
And although she's uncredited, one of the stars of House of Cards is...
Oh, yeah.
It's in the opening scene.
Yeah, the opening scene's probably the... If the...
Opening and ending.
The opening and ending? Yeah. See, there's one of the other underused traps, which he apparently knew how to use, but only used 2 of, which is one of my other favorite scenes, the nail and board scene, which is a really clever scene where he's stepping through the window.
Okay.
But really, the movie had elements of what could be good, but it did not deliver in a lot of ways.
So you're calling this like The Purge?
Yeah, well, see, with The Purge, the concept overall is interesting. With this film, there's sprinklings of what could be a good concept, but they don't go fully with it. They're not dedicated to what could be a pretty good concept of the survivor girl, just taking out killers who come to the place, instead of being half slasher, half family inheritance thing.
So what's your overall score?
It's like going out of 2 out of 5 out of 10.
It's up to you.
It's my overall score. I don't know. It's celery out of fruit. It's not that good. It's not that good. I don't like it that much. It's like 2 out of 5. It's decent. If there was more to it, if some of the lines weren't unbearable, if anyone did like it and they're watching this now and they're like, "What is he talking about? That was horrible." Go back and look at the kangaroo fighting scene. just go back and like sit down and look at the kangaroo fighting scene and tell me there was not something terrible
Is that the brother scene?
going on. Yeah, it's the first time you see the brother, and he's like, "Hey, you kangaroo
That's
fight."
horrible.
That's one of the worst scenes I've seen in a long time. Just this awkward scene, and it lasts too long too. It's not like a one-off little like joke thing. They're like a few minutes. I'm going, "Oh, kangaroo fight," and then just stop hitting me, and it just results in just bad.
Maybe it's 10 or 15.
What? Yeah, no, I know we're at 10, so.
Alright.
But yeah, no, I didn't like the film. I thought the film could have been better if it focused on something. The film didn't like to focus. The masks weren't creepy. The song was awesome. And the twists were predictable and fairly, yeah, very, very predictable. And they didn't amount to much in the end, other than a few more people to kill, really. So. And with that, I got nothing else to say. I got no tagline or anything. I'm lost in the world. I don't know how to end a video without a tagline. I don't have tea. I don't need to drink tea. I'm a healthy man. So, I'm gonna make some Jell-O. I guess it's time for Jell-O.
Jello.
That spells Jell-O. Alright, well, good evening to you. And toodles.